What is up, guys? Again, NotTheWorst here, bringing another Black Desert online video, and today we're taking a look at the patch notes for January 4th. We've actually got quite a few things going on that is pretty exciting. Crystal presets are in. We have some updates, mostly for Drakania as far as class updates go, a few other tweaks and things. Let's jump on in and take a look. First note is something that was pretty excited about, but the note here is somewhat concerning them. We have updates to character movements. If you are familiar with classes prior to Guardian and Archer, that ballpark, the movement when you move around is kind of exact, and then after that they instituted this I guess realistic type movement thing where it's really floaty, for lack of a better term. Anyhow, the note on making improvements to that. Improve some classes' basic movements, forward, back, left, right, starting from Archer and Guardian. We've added this action to provide more natural movement, but many adventurers who actually played the character after the maintenance had given us feedback that it felt uncomfortable. It's been that way for a long time. So we've improved upon those motions again. However, it seems adventurers are still experiencing discomfort, so we reverted the movements back to how they were originally. We apologize for the adventurers that like the current version. Going forward, we'll examine elements that make up comfortable controls with greater care. My 2 cents on this, just make it like every other class plays and leave it at that, and everybody wins. But, you know, we'll see. As far as infographic on how it is, this is with weapon drawn. It does still have some floatiness going on. You see that like stutter stop kind of thing when you're stopping here versus this is exact. When you don't have your weapon out, that actually doesn't work that way. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're moving around. Next up, we have events for this week. We've got 14 days of special login rewards. You can see you're going to get some Valk's Cronstone bundles, maids in there as well, and then these Fox Spirit items, which makes you think Megu, right? Well, that's because it is. We've got these Fox Orbs and Fox Spirits Unite. This notably runs through the end of January 31st, so this is staying in line with likelihood that we get Megu targeted for this January release at some point. Coming up, possibly on January 31st, hopefully sooner for it. But you're going to get these Fox Orbs for being logged in, along with some other goodies to go along with it. And then those can be exchanged out for different items, inventory expansions, advice of Valk, storage boxes, and that sort of thing. Next up, we've got an event running alongside with the launch of Season 2 for Arena of Solaire, last week being the preseason for it. You've got to win 3 matches in a week is a quest you can pick up from the Black Spirit, and by doing that, you're going to get these little token guys, and these token guys can be swapped out for different items. 120 stack in, there's nothing to scoff at for sure. Of course, you can RNG up with the Shikatu Secret Box, Cronstones, etc. And then they also have a setup running until February 1st for who's in what place on the leaderboard. They're going to hand out some pearls for that. Notably, that's not for the final end of the season. That's just running for February 1st along with it. So kind of a nice little bonus there. And they have a pretty interesting event. Show off your real pets and have a chance to get a Black Desert pet in the game for it. So yeah, you're going to use it, take a screenshot or do a video. You're going to use the tag server and pet in your post on the forums to be entered to win that if you're interested. We've got the Happy New Year celebration that's going on. This actually started on the 1st already. So you're going to be getting these glittering Pouch of Fortunes and along with a couple other login rewards with it. You can take those Pouch of Fortunes to Laura in Heidel, swap it out once per day to pick up your choice of a 10-hour buff. So that's going to run until the 10th. It did actually start prior to this maintenance, but you may not have been aware of it. So there you have it. Moving into content updates, we have a few class changes, and then Drakania's got a lot of stuff going on for now. Rangers getting a little bit of a change on their ranged AP amount for 10 seconds when using Waltz of Wind. We see Zerker getting adjustment to attack speed on ground lifting. Issue fixes there with Wizard. Corsair picks up quite a few things. Pirate's Life for me is changed so that it can be used during cooldown. That cooldown is increased to 5 seconds up from 4 since it can now be spammed. And then notably the buffs to it, down smash, critical hit rate, AP, whatnot, are not going to apply on cooldown much like every other skill that you use when on cooldown. Crow's Mark, we see some increase in the damage on it and the critical hit rate increase. Captain's Order Ceasefire gets damage increase and PvP reduction rate reduced as well, meaning more PvP damage. And we see the same thing with Sun Shield, getting more PvP damage. Then we have kind of the big one for this week is Drakania. I know this was very, very, very looked forward to by a lot of people, at least from feedback and stream, asking if I was still playing Drakania after doing the PvE guide for Awakening. So this is highly coveted, these new updates here as far as how they work in it. I don't know because I still have Wusa tagged, so haven't done anything with it, and they just now hit live servers. Note on this, several changes have been made to Drakania Awakening. First, we've updated her Hexblood form so that her skills can be used with greater ease and precision. Also, some Dragonblood skills have been revamped to be and feel more powerful. Drakania's Hexblood skills are focused on repeated strikes with debuffs activated with each movement. This made it so that you had to find the right skill in order to activate your desired debuff. With this update, we've more clearly distinguished skills with debuffs from skills with block effects to simplify the composition of the skill combos. We've also revamped some Dragonblood skills to feel heftier, such as Dragonblood Stormpiercer and Dragonblood Tip of the Scale, which use repeated strikes, have been updated so that all damage is inflicted with a single movement, then linking to the next skill. This makes sense, just for an example, Dragonblood Tip of the Scale previously was multiple hits, 2 or 3 hits or whatever, and the way you would actually use it is in between movement, and then you could cancel out using the first hit for it just as the second hit. They changed that to where it's a singular hit already, and it's actually much quicker to do it that way, so that was a pretty big benefit. Legacy was removed as Shift E in general. It's now a new skill for Command Flow Obliterate, which is now no longer its own flow. It is its own skill at this point. They changed the increase AP in Dragonblood from 15 to 25 and Hexblood 10 to 20. Along with it, Doombreaker was updated so that when it's used from a higher position, you don't run into a falling animation if you're going down lower with it. That Dragonblood Tip of the Scale, as we had mentioned, the first attack on that was removed, and then the damage was balanced out accordingly, meaning dealing more damage on that. You can see how zippy it is, especially when just going straight in now compared to before. It was kind of sluggish, and you kind of just put it in there because the cancel with it worked nicely. Forward Guard was added to Hexblood Stormpiercer, and Knockdown was removed on it. Hexblood Tip of the Scale had Stiffness effect now applied as soon as you use it, and the Knockdown effect was removed. Sundering Roar in Hexblood, stun effect of successful first attack's been changed to a knockdown, and the damage dealt by the first and second attacks are now the same, which that thing hits pretty flippin' hard, as is. Hexblood Crackling Flame had increase in damage on it, and then Flow Obliterate is essentially a new skill now. It's been separated from the Aerial Burst standalone skill. As mentioned above, it's now Shift E for the input on it to do that, and it does switch you into Hexblood as well. We've got Flow Core Extinction is now changed to a Hexblood skill. Hexblood's going to be activated when you use it. It's not activated as a flow after Dragonblood Sundering Roar, so keep that in mind as well. The skill animation has been changed, and so the skill effects changed the command key to Shift F, and Core Aerial Burst has been changed to Core Extinction, and Markethan's Heart is now applied on it as well. As far as what it looks like, we got the little graphic there, so that's it. Looks like it hits hard as far as when they say it looks like it does deal more damage. Next up, we have Aerial Burst, which was changed to a Dragonblood skill. This is now quick slot only skill to pick that up. On it no longer has an input key. Activation speed of Spiteful Soul in Dragonblood was increased, and Stormpiercer changed the animation and the skill effects, so no actual changes to what it's doing, but the way that it applies, it actually looks a little zippier off the top of my head, so I could be wrong there. Then we got Flow Dragonflight and Flow Markethan's Wings were updated. Can no longer be linked with the Extinction skill. There's no restriction on the flight distance any longer. It's going to use 200 stamina while flying until you run out of stamina. Removed the count limit on left and right evasion maneuvers, and then the continuous activation has been removed. The F key is now used to accelerate, and then it uses 500 stamina per second. Movement speed decreased for when not accelerating. So there we have for our class updates, and like I said, notably Drakania. Content, we have an Ataraxian Yolanakia thread guide. A guide on threads has been added for the main quest on it, along if you need it. Arena of Solar, unless you've been living under a rock, we've got the official Season 2 launch starting today after the placement matches from the preseason. That was in there, so that's up there. They talk about what you can win this season for it. There's a Solar Knight outfit as well as a title in there that's going to go out. They did make some adjustments to the gear that is in it as well. Oh, by the way, and the season's going to run until February 28th. I wanted to mention that too for people that were wondering. A couple of tweaks to some of the new gear. The HP on Slumbering Sage's armor was reduced from 200 to, plus 200 to minus 100. Is that what that says? Yes, it is. It was changed from plus 200 to minus 100 HP, so a 300 point swing there. The evasion on Tri-Stormy Eye Ring and Eye Belt were both reduced a little bit by, 4 each? Yes, 4 points each in evasion, and then the damage reduction +3 effect on the Pilgrim's Crystal was removed entirely, so it's now movement speed -3% and HP +425. For the top 1 adventurer of each class, similar to last season, they're going to make little statues of them in it that you can talk to and get breath XP +10% for 10 hours. The top 100 are going to get that Solar Knight outfit, as well as the honorary Solar Knight title for finishing in the top 100. And then you'll also get Glorious Solar Box, which is going to give you 1,000 Cron Stones, 20 Corrupt Oil of Immortality, 30 Perfume of Courage, Calx and Deep Sea and Charm and Insight, then 50 Giant's Draft, 50 Armor Draft, 50 Elixir of Indignation, and 30 Item Drop Scrolls. So not too shabby there. Next up, we have the Radiant Shikatu seals being introduced to the game. We saw this talked about in the Calpheon Ball, so they've adjusted essentially what can be turned in for instance, among other things. You could previously turn in 100 and pick up a Tungrad ring. You now have the Tri-Tungrad ring. That is, you now have the option to get Tungrad, Dawn, Ominous, Disto, Manos, whatever. So they updated those. And then on the top end, we actually have the title Shining Knight if you want to exchange 300 seals for just that title. I do know some people that will actually do that, but for me personally, not going to be super appealing. Also changed to that 10 Cron Stones can be exchanged for a Shiny Shikatu CLX1 through Shikatu's right-hand Rayomi. Interesting if you end up with an odd amount and need to be able to swap out, that actually can now be done. We have an update to Black Spirit's secret book. You can now get 80 and 100 secret book stacks. That's the one that stores stacks for you off of the blacksmith. So these were removed. I think it was 50 and 100 were available in different things in the Pearl Shop. Those were removed, and you'll see when we get to the Pearl Shop, they do have a note that they plan to have a new one implemented on January 11th that's going to store up to a 500 stack, and we'll see that when we do get over to the Pearl Shop. Prices on crystals were adjusted. I will say there's been additional maintenance after the patch was initially released, and at this current time of recording, the central marketplace is down because they're trying to fix it, but the cap on magic crystals were changed, and pretty drastically in most cases. You can see things like Rebellious Spirit Crystal at 175 mils, now max price 2 billion silver. So pretty hefty changes. I don't know exactly what the issue is with the pricing as is, but should be up and working correctly soon. Monster updates, we have changed just to Hex Sanctuary when you're using Marnie's Realm for it. It changed which rotation you're on. We got a little message animation popping up when Rara responds or is defeated. Some quest updates and a couple of tweaks there. We have a Node and Conquest War update that's actually pretty significant as well. Let's read through the dev note we've got on this one. Rules for Node Wars have been changed, and the preseason will begin on Sunday, January 8th. Before we begin, we'd like to express our gratitude once again to the adventurers who have waited for this change. This preseason, we've completely removed the war game style and returned to the previous Node War rules. Due to these changes, the preseason is expected to last for about a month. However, we hope that the changes we've made to the preseason will be impactful and fun. Some of the changes include adjusting the maximum number of nodes to 40. The significant decrease in the number of nodes was done to encourage more guilds to compete against each other for them. However, to prevent a powerful guild from monopolizing the nodes, we've limited the number of nodes a guild can occupy at a time to 3. Furthermore, after the end of preseason, additional benefits will be added for occupying a node. When a guild takes a node, the bonuses given for investing in the node are going to double. For example, if a guild takes Mancha Forest, then all guild members of Guild A will receive double the bonuses for their investment level. There are also nodes that do not have monster zones. This means that guilds will have to decide whether they want to target a specific node or go after regular nodes. In addition to changes mentioned above, the Shining Medals of Honor will be awarded to guilds and their members regardless of whether they win or lose the award. We'll provide more details about rewards once the preseason officially begins. And then we've got some specifics along with it and percentage acquired by node level if you need to check the charts for it. There is a link to the patch notes in the description below, so you can jump on over and check those out if you need to. Now what I really want to talk about is the new Crystal preset update. So we've got a quick note here, and then I'll give a brief synopsis on how this works. And I'm going to actually just do a separate video to go in depth about the new Crystal setup and give kind of some basic outlines for pretty common crystal setups for different things. So we've revamped the system of transfusing crystals. Crystals are no longer transfused onto the gear, but through a designated crystal UI. Although it may take some time to get adjusted to, the system was implemented with convenience in mind, so we kindly ask for your patience. And although the overall UI design was changed, the system itself is not much different from the previous system. 12 basic slots are provided for adventurers to freely transfuse the crystal of their choice. And lastly, 2 extra slots that are unlocked upon equipping items upgraded by the Heart of Karanda and Garmoth's Heart, and 1 extra slot from your outfit will be available as usual. So you can see kind of the design here. These two are your Garmoth Heart the Garmoth Heart or Karanda slots. So if you don't have a Garmoth Heart socketed, these will be grayed out. This is your outfit slot here for it. So if you don't have that, it will also be grayed out. Only outfit crystals can go into these one, whereas any crystals can go into these up to certain limits. So what do you mean by that? They categorize different crystals into different items. So you can use, for instance, up to 2 Elcars, 2 Rebellious Spirit Crystals. You can do an unlimited number of whom's if you want to. But notably, Rebellious Spirit Crystal being a really decent, well, now really great, but really good PvE offhand, was always outshined by the raw damage of Corrupt Crystals. Well, these are now 2 different categories, meaning you can run those Rebellious Crystals, hence why it's now a 2 billion silver max price on it, and you can run Corrupt Crystals as well, increasing your PvE damage extremely significantly. Something else to note is that Aulicus and Okrad crystals, the human damage and monster damage Garmoth slot crystals, are independent of each other. So you can run Okrads and Aulicus. Why is that important? Well, because the glorious version of those will give you 1% attack speed on each one. So in the past, you were choosing 14 monster damage, 6 accuracy, and 2% attack speed versus the same thing, but 14 human damage, 6 accuracy, and 2% attack speed. You can now run all 4 of those, and whether it's a PvE build or not, picking up 4% attack speed over 2 is insanely good for every class I can possibly think of. So there's going to be a lot of different configurations you can run for different things. As far as storing these, you can see kind of in this graphic, you have a bag of up to 50. So you kind of register the crystals you want to put in your bag, up to 50 of them, and then you can set up to 5 presets for out of those crystals. Now, you don't need to have, each preset is independent. So you don't need to have, let's say, this flashes so fast. You don't need to have 4 Djinn Vipers because you have a PvE crystal preset and then a PvP one, and you have 2 Djinn Vipers in your PvE and 2 Djinn Vipers in your PvP. It works independently on each preset, so you only need to register 2 Djinn Vipers, and you can then use 2 Djinn Vipers on all 5 sets if you want to, or whatever kind of conglomeration that you have. As far as the number of what you can use with it, they have a nice little chart. Again, link to the patch notes in the description if you want to check it out for something specific you're looking for. But they list how many of what and what category or group that they're considered in. So you can see Whom's, Maclods, Gervish are unlimited. You can use as many as you want of those. Then you have an ignore all resistance group. So that means Precisions and Elcars are in that same group. So you can't use BMC Precision and Crystal of Elcar and try and get that double up on the 10% ignore resist. Not going to happen. You can only have 2 of these out of that category total. You can see there with like Voltara's Rebellious Black Spirit. Those are all spirit crystals. So again, you can only have 2 of those. You can't double up on like Rebellious with and then stack it with Voltara. It's not going to let you. Extra damage is done that way. I know people were wondering if you could run Corrupt alongside critical hit damage. No, you cannot. Those are both in the extra damage category. Some notable things you can do, like I mentioned, the Alcrad and Aulicus interaction is pretty interesting. A special attack evasion rate, you can't. Those are going to be 2 as well. But you can put, for instance, 2 Red Fang crystals, and then you could also additionally run 2 Addis or Karme to pick up some more AP if you didn't need accuracy off of your Djinn Vipers or Elcars or something like that, because the spot you're grinding doesn't require it. So something to think about there. But really, really cool to see this, and extremely convenient compared to prior switching where you were kind of like just using an all-around build for the most part, so you could PvE, PvP, and not have to change too much too frequently, since you have to use stones to do that. All right, let's go ahead and move on over to the Pearl Shop, see what we got going on this week. First up, we have the Snowflake Outfit Box available at 2,200 pearls. If you want to pick that up. The Frostbite Outfit Box, which actually I think looks a little cooler than this. It's similar to this, but then it has like kind of armor pieces over it. We don't have a picture of it here, but it does look pretty cool. 2,200 pearls as well. Wusa gets a new outfit, the Prowling Tiger outfit set, and we can see bits and pieces in the individual components there. 2,200 if you want to pick up the whole thing, and I think it looks really good personally. The weekly outfit on sale at 2,720 pearls per usual is the Kuno White Wildcat. We've got some new packs that are available. Adventurer Necessity Packs is 4,410 pearls. It's got a premium outfit, a 30-day value pack. It's got a made for hire, and then you're going to choose one between 15-day Book of Old Moon or Blessing of Commissylve, or plus 16 inventory, Wizard Ghost Fee, or 35 Artisan Memories. As a bonus, you get 5 Elion's Tears, 5 Blessed Message Scroll, 5 300% XP scrolls, and 10 item drop scrolls. We have an everyday Cronstone pack, which you can purchase pearls every day. It's 100 Cron Stones for 270 pearls. We got 2 New Year's enhancement packs. The level 1's 3,200 pearls. Comes with 100 raw artisans, then an artisan memory bundle to roll the RNG dice on how many you get. 15 memory fragments, an enhancement help kit 1. 40 stack and a 50 stack. Then the bigger pack on it is 7175 pearls. It's got 250 raw artisans, 2 of the RNG artisan bundles, 30 memory fragments, an enhancement help kit 3, 240 stacks, a 50 stack, and 160 stack. Next up, we have the Next Step outfit all-in-one pack. This is 7560 pearls, has a premium outfit box 1 and 2, classic outfit box, and succession classic box, and on top of that, you get a 20% apparel coupon. Then we have the Let's Try Fishing, 880 pearls, gets you a polar bear, and then you get a bonus of some Verdure drafts and Perfume of Swiftness, plus a 4 inventory expansion slot. Let's Try Training Package, 675 pearls. It's got the Heyday pet in it, an Unbridled Celerity draft, and a Courser's Aura. And then talking about Courser's Aura, Let's Make a Courser, 2135 pearls for that package, 5 mount skill change coupons, 1 of the all skill training coupons, your choice of the Dream Horse mat materials, up to 10 of those. And then we have a 10-hour Mount XP scroll, Courser's Aura, and another Unbridled Celerity draft. We have Let's Try Gathering. It is 880 pearls. That's got a Hedgehog and a Pudgy Llama for you Shiba guys. Magical Verdure draft, 3 of those, 3 Perfume of Swiftness, and 1 +4 inventory coupon. Gathering and More Gathering package, 240 pearls. It's 11 energy tonics, 1 Laura's Black Tea, a Book of Florin, and 1 Day Book of Life. And then we have the Monster Slayer package, 1800 pearls. Arctic Fox and 7 item drop scrolls. Interesting numbers. Just like, here's 7 of these, not 10, not 5, just 7. Must be lucky. Life Blessing on Commissilla packs 1,000 pearls. It's got 15-day blessing. And then as a bonus, you're going to get a 7-day Book of Life, 5 Book of Florin, 3 Black Tea, 5 Life XP scrolls, and then 5 Giovan's Grolin support scroll as well. And continuing more, we have the Secret Book of Old Moon combat pack. It's 1,000 pearls for this, guys. 15 Book of Old Moon, kind of the same thing, but the combat version of what we saw on the last one. So a 7-day Book of Combat, 3 Blessed Master scrolls, 5 item drop scrolls, 3 300% XP scrolls. We've got a 30% sale off on the costume category, 20% off on life XP transfer category, and then an item update. The purchase limit on Nader's Parchment was increased from 8 to 14. It is at regular price 1,100 pearls at the moment. And here's where they mention discontinuing the Blacksmith Secret books. And then they note, like I said, that January 11th maintenance, they're going to have one that extracts up to a 500 enhancement stack. Loyalty items were changed as well, so you may want to take a look at those in your loyalty shop. That was modified a bit there. And there is a Cuckoo event one at 5,000. Loyalties, if you want to pick that up and smash it with another pet, maybe get you a T4 you might need, or what have you. So there you have it for this week's patch notes and Pearl Shop. Let me know what you guys think about what's going on in the comments down below. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like it. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you get notifications when new videos do go live. And if you'd like to catch me playing live, there's a link to my Twitch page in the description down below. Jump on over there, drop a follow so you get notifications for that as well. With that said, that's going to be it for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.